We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are.
Hey everybody, welcome once again to yet another episode of Two Noobs Talking. It is episode number 91. And with me, of course, are my good friends, John Tracy and Steve Murray. I, of course, am Matt Craig. We are happy to have you with us. John, first of all, two questions. One, how was that sip of beer? And two, how you doing, man?
That was amazing. I'm doing great.
There you go.
Do you know AJ Styles owns like all the arcades? Like from our childhood, like all the arcade games, like he has bought every single one. Like he has his own arcade in his house. I just found that out. It blew my mind.
That's awesome. So he has like what the sit down Pac-Man, I'm sure. And
yeah. He has one. He's a Neo Geo. He has some things that things I haven't even seen. It's pretty cool.
When can I come over? Good Lord, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah. Steve looking very very shiny with the Turbulence jersey. I mean, that's awesome. Steve, how you doing, man? What's going on today?
I'm well. I guess my humorous observation of the week is the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup.
Yes, they did.
And one of their players is Nick Aube-Kubel, who previously played for the Flyers. They acquired him because the Flyers waived him because he would periodically do dumb shit. And here he is denting the Stanley Cup before they even sit for the team picture on the ice.
Because why not? That's what he does. But yet another former Flyer wins.
Does he get the Barack Obama quote? Give it to Joe, he'll fuck it up.
Give it to Nick, he'll dent it.
He'll dent it, exactly. I mean, it was a sizable dent from what I understand, right? I mean, it was pretty.
Oh, he caved in the whole bottom side. It was, he fell down and landed on the cup.
I saw
like
it.
He tripped and fell. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He kind of crash landed. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I think that totally justifies our waiver.
Yes.
That in and of itself would be like you never like in your mind like heading into like a game like that, and you end up winning the Stanley Cup. It's like that's a dream sequence you don't want to have happen, but obviously it was a nightmare scenario that happened for him. Oh my
I hope they have
God.
it in NHL 23. Like they have a different celebration. Like you could pick your celebration right before you do the celebration. It's like, do you want oops celebration or you want the real celebration? And your guy could actually fall down with the cup.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I would love to see that. So guys, here we go in episode 91. As tradition, we only got 9 episodes of these left, maybe 8. But of course, who wore the episode?
Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean left? Are we stopping at 100? What's going on?
Well, no one wore 100. And well, we have had a couple of double zeros, so maybe we'll take a look at that. Maybe.
I thought you meant the podcast was in there.
Oh no! Oh God, no! Oh God, no! Yeah, we're going to keep going. Are you kidding me? This great train's going to keep rolling. Are you kidding me? But who wore the episode number in the city of Philadelphia? And of course, we lead off with Andy Harmon, guys.
Why?
Yes, which was bizarre because that was the first person I thought of. 91, Andy Harmon.
Andy Harmon.
Sorry, Fletch.
Yeah.
John is
gets progressively better. Come on, guys. There's a sequence to all of this. Andy Harmon. Let's talk him up a little bit. Decent defensive tackle. Right? I mean, early to mid-90s, I guess, right? He was pretty good. No comment? No, what's going on there?
I remember the name.
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Your guess is as good as mine? Okay. Well, then I guess we ought to move then, since nobody's remembered him. Anyway, it's always important to remember your elders, by the way. But why don't we move on to Fletch? Thank you. Guy who also was integral in winning the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
for the Eagles. I mean, hell of a defensive tackle. Was definitely in the Two Noobs tournament, best Philadelphia athlete.
Oh hell yeah!
Seeded 10th in Eagles bracket. You can check that out, episode 84. Throw that up in the card. But yeah, Fletch, man, one of the all-time greats. One person on this podcast said that he is going to be the standard bearer now for defensive tackles. I don't know who that guy was, but you know. pretty
CTE guy over there.
pretty high praise, I would say.
Yeah, he's what you're gonna make all your decisions in defensive tackle. I want a guy that like him because like that guy.
The way he commands double and sometimes triple teams by an offensive line is astounding, which is why his stats may not always tell how great he is, but when he's like pushing two dudes backwards, he's doing his job.
It's impressive.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah.
I can't wait to see him with the big kid Davis
Oh my gosh.
later on in the year when they got to double team both those guys.
And Derek Barnett
Monstrous
actually
and-
might have double digits in sacks because of
I
it.
think those two guys could fight the entire offensive line by themselves
He probably could.
and maybe be successful.
I always I don't want to hype the kid up, but Jordan Davis kind of reminds me of we have like a mini Godzilla. You know, kind of just 350 pound. He's just going to take over the entire offensive line. It's going to be great.
Who was the guy who used to play for the Ravens who was like enormous? In the middle?
Haloti Nada. And Nada played for
Oh,
the
yeah.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
huge, but he could run. That was the weird part about him.
Yeah, he was a hell of a defensive tackle. Yeah.
He could run laterally.
And then
It was weird.
Forward and backward, not so much, but laterally he was great.
he was great, exactly. But then, surprisingly, Reggie
Yeah.
White wore
Yes.
91 for the Eagles. You have to go back in a way back time machine in 1985, his rookie year in the NFL.
Was it a Topps card?
It was
You
a
can
Topps
see
card
it on-
one.
Yeah, you can see it on Topps card.
Absolutely, chuck that thing up there. But yeah, he wore 91, and then of course the next season wore 92, and wore that of course for the rest of his entire career. Spoiler alert, just for that for next
Even
week.
with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah,
And the Eagles.
Packers and
Even
yeah,
with the Carolina Panthers, they gave him 92.
We
Like,
can't
it's-
really. we
they
can't
did
really
not commit
fault
a
the
uniform
Eagles on this.
violation. Yeah,
Yeah, we can't fault them this week because he
Nope.
was a rookie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was at the end of his career coming in and they're like, nah, we can't give you the number you're probably going into the Hall of Fame with. No.
yeah, exactly.
91.
They need to learn.
Crazy. But yeah, I mean, we found that really fascinating. I wonder what prompted the change. That would have been my my question.
What did he wear in college?
That's a real good question.
90?
I don't
Or in
know.
the what was he in before? Because he wasn't a college rookie, right? He came from
Yeah, he was picked in the USFL draft, so he played for the Memphis Showboats, and I don't know. I'll have to look it up in post-production. Maybe we'll throw that up there if I can find it, and what he wore there. I want to believe it's 91, could be wrong, but I'll look it up and see what he wore, when he played for Memphis.
Well, fortunately for you, he pops back up next episode, so you can report back.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. We
Exactly
totally
right.
figured this out.
Absolutely.
Revisit.
Absolutely. Well, okay, guys. So here we go with topic one, and this is a very interesting segment we've done in the past. John and I have done it. This is the first time I think we're doing it with Steve, which is pretty cool. We always like to take a look at the Franklin and Marshall College poll that's usually been released. This poll is usually pulled within the state of Pennsylvania. Sorry, John, not in Texas.
It's okay.
But this
That's
is
okay.
yeah, Texas doesn't matter.
Their opinions don't count.
They don't count. I mean, that kind of deal. But this poll was taken. I want to kind of make this clear at the top. The poll was taken from April 20th to May 1st of 2022. But it's always good to kind of look back on some of these polls. So obviously things have changed over the course of the last 2 months. But this is still very, very fascinating.
We'll also preface it. It
Yeah.
was before that period, particularly was before about 2 weeks before the Pennsylvania primary.
Primaries, exactly. Yeah, good point. Absolutely. So this is a very interesting. I'll just throw this as a starter question to both of my co-hosts here. What do you think is the most important problem facing Pennsylvania today? And so I'm going to throw up a graph here. This is going to go from March of 2021 all the way to May of 2022. So you got about a year and a half. March of 2021, COVID-19, of course, was the top list. That was at 31%. And if you follow the graph all the way down to May of 2022, it's barely noticeable. It's down to 1%. Really amazing. Unsurprisingly, government and politicians remain top on the list, Johnny. You've got them at 21% now. Economy and finances at 14%, with crime, drugs, violence, and guns at 9%. taxes at 8%. Those are your top 4, which I'll throw up there as well on the slide. So what are your thoughts on COVID taking the huge dip, but then the government and the politicians is the most important? That's been pretty consistent, right?
Everybody kind of caught up to where we're at.
Yeah.
Well, gas prices are crazy. Food prices are crazy. Politicians are idiots. Crime is not doing very well in the city of Philadelphia.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see why everybody's concerned about it. And they showed you at the primaries that they wanted to move in the other direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is really fascinating. Steve, your thoughts, just hearing those numbers, of course, seeing everything kind of, I guess, government politicians have always been tops on the list, right? I think for everybody when they go into like a primary voting position. What are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with the esteemed representative from Texas there. Everybody is.
Don't worry, our politics is stupid too.
The gas prices, that because this ended May 1st, it was before, I think. I mean, gas prices were hiking up by that point, but I think they've jacked up even more now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's not just gas prices, but inflation overall, I think is most people's top concern, because it's, it affects directly your livelihood.
Yeah.
What you're getting paid, what you have to pay to eat and drive.
Mm-hmm.
So these numbers make sense. It was trending in that direction, and I think continues to.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I think I'll pose that question to you guys. Is that like your genuine sentiment? If a pollster were to ask you that question, John, of course, not being in Pennsylvania, but if he was in Pennsylvania, John, I mean, my question to you, what would be your top thing? Would it be the economy? Would it be?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, things are, it's not just Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania is taking a big hit compared to southern states. I can't figure that out. Someone just told me, lives in Pennsylvania, really good friend of mine. Her food bill has doubled.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Not even changing like diet, not changing what they're buying. Noticed over the course of 2 months, their food bill is now double what it was.
That's crazy.
That has to be the number one concern. So what do you need? 2 jobs just to eat now?
Hopefully not, but yeah, I get your point. Yeah, that is a major concern, especially if you got a family of 4, typically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you guys, I think, have families of 4, if not more.
Your nuclear family now you need to send your youngest to work.
Yeah.
Afford hot dogs.
What can you do to contribute?
It's not that drastic, but I of course I'm making fun of it, but give it another year.
It's a legit concern. Yep. Absolutely. But then we kind of moved online here. The second question of this poll, which I found very interesting: what is the one change you would most like to see to Pennsylvania's elections? And in the poll, they compare from August of 2020 to May of 2022. In August, they polled 156 people. In May, 407 people answered that question. Voter ID, guys, shot up from 1% in August of 2020 to 26% in May of 22. That is astronomically high. In-person and absentee voting only, no mail-in ballot, that went from 6% to 19%, same time frame. And election integrity, reduce or prevent voter fraud at 9%. So again, talking about the elections, whereas I should mention too, August 2020, that last question or the last answer wasn't even on the ballot, wasn't even listed, provided. So Steve, what are your thoughts on the voter ID? I mean, that is astronomical. I don't think I've ever seen something like that in a poll. Granted, there's more people in the statistical sample size. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but what are your thoughts on that?
I'd like to see it. Just, it's the process when I go to vote here in Pennsylvania is I walk up to a table where somebody is sitting with a booklet of names and signature blocks.
Yep.
you tell them your name, and they flip to a page, and then you find your name on there and you sign the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what would stop me from giving a last name, getting to the last names, seeing an empty spot and saying, "Yep, that's me right there."
Mm-hmm. No voter ID identification in that process either.
No. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing voter ID become more prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
The no absentee ballot, I don't think that's right. I mean, people who aren't here should still have the chance.
The absentee ballots need to exist.
Yeah, I think you can handle
Absolutely
them better.
need to exist.
Mm-hmm.
You can handle them better, but I think they need to exist.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. You know, I don't see the problems that many others claim to see
Yes.
when I vote. But you know, I wouldn't mind if the question were to me, which of these would you like to say? Oh, voter ID would be fine with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. John, same question. What do you think?
The voter ID just makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
The military, when they vote, have to put their thumbprint in ink and put it on they need to identify the military, like, to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who, like, when they're overseas, you already know they're there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know them individually.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense that back in the States that you would have to properly show who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sense.
Yeah. We've had that argument back and forth, right, Johnny? In the early days of the podcast, we were talking about how easy it would be to grab, you need like a driver's license. You want to drive a motor vehicle in the state of Pennsylvania, you got to have a driver's license identification. Yeah. You want to fire a firearm, you got to get identification for that. Yeah. You got to get identification when you go for a new job. You got to get identification for all kinds of things, passports, all kinds of things. The one that's missing is the voter identification. Mm-hmm. And I agree. I've done, Steve, same thing over here in where I live, in the county I live in. It literally is, you tell them your name, it takes them forever to get to the last name.
Well, the people manning those tables usually are elderly.
It's like, okay, what's your last name again? CR? Yeah, okay. And land on it, and you got to sign it. And it's like, I don't get it. To me, it would be easier if I'm flashing an identification card right in front of me, right in front of them. It says my name. It's my driver's license.
Already has a signature.
Already has a signature. Correct. Good point, Johnny. I mean, that's right then and there. It's a validation. It's something that goes through the state rolls. And also, too, I should also make this point as well. When you buy alcohol in the state of Pennsylvania, you got to show your driver's license, and they scan the back of it.
Yep.
With a scanning gun to validate the age, basically, because you can't buy it over, I think it's 21. So it's like it validates the age or whatever. That's a perfect logical explanation. I think just scan it. If it's a legit thing, scan the driver's license. It takes 5 seconds.
I don't know if this is still the case, but you and I found out that you at one point you needed an ID to get into a rated R movie.
That's right.
You did, not me. They carded you, not me.
Damn 309 Cinema. Which I didn't quite understand, because it's like, I'm clearly older than you are. It's like, I don't quite get that. What the hell happened there? It was so funny. I forget. That was the End of Days movie, right? With Schwarzenegger. I think that's the one we saw.
I don't remember which movie it was, but
yeah.
they carded you, and
they carded me.
I remember when that happened to you guys. That story was hilarious.
Yeah, it was great. Loved it.
They were trying to save you, Matt. They didn't want you to experience the gore.
And I appreciate that. I really do. I really do appreciate that, Johnny. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's great. And then the final question, guys, kind of going through this poll. What issue would be most important to you when considering which candidate for Senate you support? So they've asked both the Democrats and Republicans the same question. And again, from March, April, and May of 2022. So right in the thick of the PA primaries, basically. Johnny, this is very interesting. On the Democrat side, personal characteristic, honesty, integrity, and authenticity topped the list at 9%. It was up from 3% just about a month prior in April. So April at 3%, May at 9%. The economy and inflation, 6 to 7%. Not much of a bump at all. But tax issues, property taxes, no tax raises went from 3 to 6%. I don't know who they're polling. Are they polling the Republicans or the Democrats here? I don't know what's going on, but what are your thoughts on that? That's very interesting on the Democrat side.
From what I see, the Democrats are centralizing, moving a little further right. They're not going right, but they're moving further right. So it makes sense that they would poll similarly in Pennsylvania. Republicans and Democrats are polling towards the core issues that affect all of us, and the left and the right wings aren't, they're not really too worried about them.
Right.
The cost of things goes up. What do you want to not have to pay for? Oh, property taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like some kind of relief if I have to, pick up an extra.
Yeah, that's massive. That's a great point, Steve.
And the centralized people, which are the moderate Democrats and the moderate Republicans, are paying the most.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
they're the normal people that can't afford the super duper home with the 8 Teslas where the wings go up. We can't afford that.
Then there's also this question. Again, same question also I asked of the Republicans. Economy and inflation topped the list, but it went down. And it went steadily down. In March of 2022, when asked of the Republicans, 22% economy and inflation, it dropped 10 percentage points when it hit in May of 2022. It was at 12%. Still tops the list. It was very, very interesting. Immigration and border security, though, from 3 to 9%. I'm not quite sure why that would be, unless they're watching Fox News all the time.
It's a normal Republican talking point.
Well, we share a border with New Jersey, and we just have to protect that border at all costs. It's
especially the northern part. We don't want anything near the northern part of northern New Jersey. Are you kidding me? The swamplands up there? Forget it.
No, we need a tunnel directly to the shore, the southern shore points.
Yes.
We need to erect a wall. That's going to be my first duty as Illinois
President of the United States. There you go.
Erect a wall between North Jersey and Pennsylvania.
There you go. I'm all for that. This is very interesting too on the tax issues. We're talking about property taxes and no tax raises. April 22 was at 10%. Guys, it dipped to 4% on the Republican side. I don't understand that at all. Unless there's some moderate liberals in there that are probably taking that tact. I'm not quite sure. That's just a guess on my part. But really the troubling thing on both of these questions, and then we'll just kind of end on this topic. The answer of do not know was the majority of the listing. On the Democrat side in May, it was at 19%. On the Republican side, it was at 17%. Guys, we're approaching July 4th, Independence Day, right? Coming up this week. When this comes out, it'll be 2 days afterwards. The idea that you don't know what you want to vote for in your own party, I think is troubling to me. I don't know. It would seem to me if I were being asked that question, I tend to be, I've always voted Republican. The biggest question on my mind would be economy. What are you going to try and do to alleviate the pressures, the financial inflation that is on us right now? Like, that's number one.
Can you repeat the question from the poll? Like,
yep.
The exact wording?
Absolutely. I'll pull this up again. What issue will be most important to you when considering which Democrat-Republican candidate for Senate you support?
See, that lessens the concern about the don't know, because they're asking you to pick the most important issue. There are issues listed in there that all could be very important.
I could pull 5 of them out. Yeah,
I could pull
easily,
5 of them too.
Yeah.
And you're saying I don't know to that particular question just means, well, I don't know which one of these 5 I would favor when looking at a candidate. Maybe I want to consider all 5. Maybe a candidate's got 4 out of 5 and another one's got 2 out of 5. I'm going to pick the one who's 4 out of 5. But if the one missing from the 4 out of 5 is the one I designated most important, am I not going to vote for them now? That's less of the don't know is less of a concern when the question is posed as what's the most important issue. If the question were more like, what kinds of things do you want to vote for? Well, I don't know. Then I'd have a problem.
Then that would be an issue. Yeah. I wonder if it's also maybe could it be possible that there might be just some negative blowback to like single issue voting? I'm only going to vote for this candidate because I'm only focused on this.
2% easy. You could put that in there. You got the I don't care people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here because my wife dragged me here, and I don't give a shit about these politicians. So I'm just I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got some of that. That may be 1 or 2% in there. Like,
yeah.
You could get it up. You can get it up there.
Yeah.
Single issue voting, I think, single issue voting is you're right. There's blowback because you go in and you vote on somebody on a single issue. And then something bad goes in another, sector, and now you're like, oh, well, this sucks. We voted for this person because of this particular reason, not realizing they were going to screw you on this. So maybe, voting just because he's completely anti-gun or completely pro-gun wasn't the greatest idea for helping you, buy food.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, guys, here we go with topic number 2. And wow, we've got another NBC Sports Philly host leaving as Seth Joyner announced, I think it was earlier this week, Johnny, right?
Tuesday or Wednesday.
That he is leaving Eagles post-game live because another opportunity came up, and by that other opportunity, it means that Ray went bye-bye. So,
Yes.
John, what are your thoughts here? Seth, that's a huge loss, is it not, for Eagles post-game live?
We quote him constantly when we talk about the Eagles on stuff he said on post-game live. We agree with him a lot, and him leaving. I think it has to do with Ray leaving. He just doesn't. Who wants to do that kind of work when you're bringing in somebody else? And that show was great because of him and Ray, with a little bit of Barrett, But yeah, that's a lot of work to build that from scratch again. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Seth's got talent. He can go elsewhere and do other things. Mm-hmm. And he probably hates Rube. I'll just throw it in there and it's a heat between those two on Twitter.
It makes me wonder about that because I think there was probably a good relationship between Didinger and Seth. Over the years, they sat next to each other. Obviously, not that had anything to do with it, but clearly, I think Seth respected Ray.
Well,
ability. Go ahead.
So he and Seth sat next to each other. Post-COVID set, Arkin, Seth and Ray were all at that one table, and Barrett was off in like the kiddie corner.
I mean, rude to bet. That's just rude.
That is just rude. That's true. Yeah. So maybe there was something going on in the set. I've always wondered that. Kind of back behind the curtain. What really transpired. But it certainly makes us wonder that it certainly has something to do with it. But yeah, it kind of makes us now wonder as we head into the Eagles season, who is actually going to be on the show. And I mean, no one can obviously replace Ray. No one can ever do that. But it certainly looks like they're grooming somebody, and that someone could be Rube.
I'd love to see Rube.
I would.
Really? Because in pre-production,
like
you were not a big fan of this guy, Johnny. Or
yeah, you've done a complete 180 now. What the heck?
No, it's not. I don't want to Rube on Twitter. I can't stand it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I like Rube. He's fine. Like, he throws out stats, and he can do what Ray did, not as well as Ray, but he could definitely do what Ray did. What I'm more concerned about is we need to get a Von Hebron in there or someone of that ilk to replace Seth that gives you that honest opinion. Because Barrett doesn't give you the honest opinion of the Eagles. He gives you the player opinion, but it's not fully guttural like Seth was giving.
He gives you the Kool-Aid punch version.
They stunk. Like, it was simple for Seth to say. We need that. Rube could be that guy that could give you, they've lost 8 out of 10 when when Jeffrey Lurie's not at the game. Like, he can do that, right? And then we need that guy that can go on, well, if your quarterback plays better, maybe you'd win. Yeah. We need that. That's what we're missing from the set.
So, after you just said that, Johnny, my thought is Brian Westbrook.
I like Brian.
He has experience doing it. He's done it for FS1 with college football, I think. And, I think he would be a tremendous addition.
His spot with Mikey Miss was really good back in the day. He was doing that, giving that honest opinion on Mondays.
He's a straight shooter.
Yeah,
he's a good straight shooter. I think he would do very well. Yeah.
Actually, that's a really good idea.
Is there anybody else, guys? That
John, Matt, pick up the phone right now and call NBC Sports and tell them Brian Westbrook should
pull it right up right now.
Yeah.
Okay, get that done. What other guys? If Westbrook isn't available, I'm on speed dial on him right now. But what else do you think?
Yeah, he could be busy.
Yeah, he could be. Exactly.
If last time I checked, I don't get paid like an executive at Comcast.
Which is ironic because I did work for that company years ago, but unfortunately I'm no longer there now. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Steve, okay, we mentioned Westbrook. Who else do you think could possibly fill that role? Or do they go 3-man and do they have Rube, Barrett, and Michael Barkan?
Oh, that would be awful.
We keep talking about Rube like he actually has the job. We don't even know.
He doesn't have the job as of now, but it feels like he's going to.
I worry they have somebody in mind already because Ray retired at the end of May.
He did.
And it took Seth like a month to decide. And I wonder if in the interim they're like, hey, we're thinking about bringing so-and-so. And he's like, nah, I'm out.
That's the heat. I want to start with him and Rube.
I honestly, I can't. Brian Westbrook is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, though, think of... who are some of the guys on the radio? Like, is Hollis Thomas still on the radio?
I think so.
But I don't know if he's in the mold of like a Seth.
He's a little too rated R for TV. I love him to death. I love Hollis to death. He's one of my favorite, but I don't think NBC wants to be hanging out with
Hollis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think you'd have two big guys there.
Yeah.
And you'd have two big dudes there, both on the offensive and, they both played offensive, defensive line. I'm talking Barrett and Hollis, so that'd be kind of rough. But it kind of begs the question also too regarding like everybody leaving NBC Sports Philly, because when we were there, when Comcast Sportsnet was, they had everybody there, and it was you had Leslie Goodell there, you had John Borick there, you had
Neil
Hartman, and then John's boy Ron Burke, who we found out in pre-production is doing it in in
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, shout out to Ron Burke out there in New Mexico. If this reaches you, man, we miss you, brother.
Absolutely.
But guys, there's been a lot of turnover. The pandemic had a lot to do with that. Derek Gunn, I think, another one would be really good to kind of bring back a little bit. But his job on post game was to interview players, but I think he could easily slide into one of those chairs at the desk. Yeah,
I would rather see him though in the Barkan.
Yes,
because he's so. Derek Gunn
he would bring a lot of energy.
Interviewers ever.
He would bring a lot of energy, I think, and kind of give Barkan a break. Yeah,
part of it.
Yeah.
You're right though. There has been a significant talent drain coming out of. I keep saying CSN Philly in my head, but it's now NBC.
Yeah, it's NBC Sports Philly.
Whatever it's called.
I can't pay.
Fill in the blank, yeah. Fill in the blank, Philly.
That Philly sports thing that happens on that channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
This may be more of an ESPNification. Unfortunately, I'm going to get John started on that again because you used to get Sports Rise every morning, right, for a nice half hour.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they cut it down to like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Not good.
And you get like one highlight and you're done.
And that was pretty much it.
What happens when 3 teams play?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
You squeeze that in the 15 minutes and then go to the Talking Head show?
And you go to the Talking Head show. Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Sean Couturier shoots, Joel Embiid scores. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts throws the touchdown pass. That's it. We'll see you next week. You know, I kind of really.
The cupboard is getting bare, and it worries me. I mean, we do have some talent left. I mean, I like the job Taryn Hatcher does on the Flyers.
Not so much on the Flyers Talk podcast, because I think she doesn't want to be there because of Jordan Hall.
Trying to get heat for
And the dynamic Joe Fordyce, whatever that means. But I mean, come on. I mean, like if you're Taryn Hatcher, you're like, two nerds? What? I don't want to be here. I got something else to do. I'm gotta like sunbathe at the shore. Come on, you know.
She does a great job on like post game though with Al and whoever else comes on there now. Scotty Hartnell.
Scotty Hartnell, yeah.
You know, she does a good job there. The Phillies post game live, Metallico. You know, I think that's great. But you know,
even Ruben Amaro adds well.
Oh yeah, I think he does a great job.
Like he's and Ben Davis too. I like Ben Davis. He's a little more fun for me in the booth, but I like Ben Davis a lot. I think he makes you feel like you know him, and he can tell you, you know, long-winded stories about being a catcher in Major League, and you feel good about it. You know what I mean? Like,
It's been really good, really to see the rotation that they do too. It's like sometimes Ruben will go on the road with Tom McCarthy, or other times it'll be Ben Davis, but Crocker's at home. You know, it's like Croc doesn't want to, you know, after the gallbladder surgery, I'm sure he doesn't want to get on a plane and fly, you know, across country or whatever. So it's like to have him at the home games, and everybody loves John Croc. I don't care who you are.
Oh, yeah.
You can watch last night's game. You go back and watch it. Oh my God, that story was like 20 minutes long, and it was hilarious.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And yeah, I mean, Ray was already a tough shoe, you know, to fill. And now it's like you've got the second shoe that's like dropped off in Seth, and Seth brought a lot, so much more. And that, I mean, who's going to fill it? I guess we'll see. I guess we'll have to look back. What? No paid sponsor? Oh, you're going to have to wait till next week. How about that?
We got to get more viewers on the YouTube.
Heck yeah.
They're not going to pay if we're not getting the views.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it'll be
subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, people.
There you go. Yeah, get notified of all of our episodes. Come on.
This week, or are we just hitting it?
Just hit it. Hitting it in the face seemed kind of violent.
Bam! Like that.
Also, it doesn't have a face to hit, so that kind of makes it difficult.
So I'm just like punching air like that. You know, that kind of a deal. Topic number 3. Breathe. Here we go. Twin Omicron subvariants have taken over the U.S., but they're not quite identical. One is the worst version of the virus we've seen, in air quotes. Mr. Steve Murray, your thoughts. Go ahead, brother.
And I feel like I need to put on something that reflects the vitriol that I'm about to... So this rant is brought to you by...
Here's your paid sponsor.
It's the paid sponsor. This rant is... I have to preface this that it's going to be less about the actual substantive content of the article as it is how the article is laid out and presented.
Go for it.
Because it just irks the hell out of me.
Oh, yeah.
The way this works. So read that headline again.
Happy to. This is the headline: Twin Omicron subvariants have taken over the U.S., but they're not quite identical. One is the worst version of the virus we've seen.
Worst version of the virus we've seen. All right. And rereading the article, I realized they were quoting a doctor who had that quote in his paper that they were quoting from.
Yes, he is a professor of molecular medicine at Scripps Research Translational Institute. Did you know that, Steve?
John wants that title.
Yeah, it sounds like
So he takes partial responsibility for, I read his paper, and his paper actually makes a lot of good, valid points. I just think he chose his opening words poorly. The writer of the article in question quoted him poorly for that. And whoever put the headline is a jackass. All right, so you would agree with me.
So far,
We've had multiple variants of COVID, yes?
100%. Yep.
There was whatever the original one was that came over
Mhm.
that started this whole mess.
We'll just call it COVID-19.
COVID-19. Then you had Delta,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had Omicron
Not the
BA.
airplane.
Right.
The variant.
The variant. Yeah.
Omicron BA1, BA2,
BA2,
BA3.
12-1.
Yeah. So we've had okay. The first one, I think we would all agree, made a lot of people really sick, killed hundreds of thousands of people.
I would say that's a
Fair assessment.
Fair assessment.
Yep.
Right on the money.
First one
Right.
was.
Okay. So, and a lot of people had to go to the hospital, were on ventilators, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very, very severe.
Very severe.
Yeah.
That's a pretty bad version of a virus, is it not?
I would say so.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Delta wasn't as bad, but
It made
still
people as
caused a lot
sick.
of problems.
It made people as sick. It just didn't. It didn't kill them.
Exactly.
It didn't
Less
kill at
ICU.
the rate
less-
of the first.
Yeah, it was
Less
less
ICU
than,
stays.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but it was still bad.
Absolutely.
So bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So this quote is the worst version of the virus we've seen.
Yes.
We have seen one that killed hundreds of thousands of people. So when you read this headline and hear this quote, what does that make you think?
Well, one would think it's worse than the original strain,
Yes.
but it's not. It's-
Right. So read, Matt,
Yes.
the very, very last paragraph of the article.
Not a problem. This is Alex Siegel, a professor of the Africa Health Research Institute in South Africa, where all of these variants, by the way, are forming for some strange reason. He
They
told
appear there first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
just
told
appear there.
Fortune magazine in May that symptoms of the new subvariants are similar to typical Omicron symptoms, which include fever, loss of smell, malaise, fill in the blanks. This is a direct quote from him. Quote, I haven't seen early symptoms of respiratory distress, the major COVID-specific symptom that makes this disease so dangerous. It doesn't feel nice, but there's less chance of dying. End quote. Less chance of dying.
This
Sounds like
paragraph,
we have an crazy tizzy. Good.
this paragraph at the very, very end of the article, you would agree with me, this is the first time they really get
Yeah.
into the severity of the symptoms, yes? At the
100%.
very end.
Absolutely.
Which most people, I'm going to venture a guess, most people don't read most articles to the very end.
I would.
So
yeah,
this
I'd also agree with
paragraph at the exact end of the thing tells you this is not the most severe version of the virus we've seen, is it?
Yeah. It doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel
So,
nice, Steve.
Fortune magazine.
Yeah. It is a perfect example.
Fortune magazine.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
What the hell are you doing to us?
Yeah, it is a perfect example of media misreporting. I mentioned this in pre-production to you guys. Gaslighting, and media misinformation, clearly. This is the example that we're talking about when it came to the pandemic. This is what causes the mass confusion, the mass hysteria of people when they get information like this and they have to scroll all the way down to the bottom and they really find out the truth that it isn't nice to go through, but there's less chance to die. Because that's the key statement. Unfortunately, to Steve's point, you got to go all the way back to the top in order, you have to skip past the headline and actually read it all the way straight down and find out, oh, wait a minute, it's not all that bad. And then the more insidious thing is you have then the conspiracy theories. Well, if
So
it's
that's
not as
when you
bad,
get context.
yeah. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
That's where you get the context.
Mhm.
And the context is when he says most severe, what he means is it's the most contagious version
Yeah.
and is good at evading immunity,
Mhm.
which isn't a good thing. But if you're not going to die from it, why would you
actually the
use
best
that
thing.
word?
Yeah.
Why would you say it's the it's the worst version
Yeah.
when you had a version that killed hundreds of thousands
Thousands of people. And
This
was
is just
and
piss
was
poor reporting all around.
Yeah, it's a great example of a virus, the difference between pathogenic and contagious. And there are two differences. The early days, the virus was definitely pathogenic, meaning that if you were going to get this virus, pretty good chance it was going to kill you. Now it's more, it's spread around more easily, but it has less potency. Contagious. Common cold is a great example of that. That is a contagious disease that spread easily from one person to another, but it doesn't kill you. You don't die from the common cold. That's a great example of that. John, what are your, I know we've gone, it's great to see Steve come on board, but it's not that he wasn't, but, what are your thoughts?
That's what Omicron was billed. What you just said is what Omicron was billed as, and what has created the levels of fear to go down.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get it. Herd immunity is going to happen. It's naturally going to progress. This is life as a virus is. This is really bad reporting for 2022. This is something I would have expected in early 20. This is kind of the articles we were reading in early 20, where it was very gaslighting. It was nobody knew, so they were clickbait. That's all they wanted for that.
Yep.
This is odd that, especially in 2022, when a lot of other shitty organizations have kind of righted the ship and started reporting normally. These guys are out on an island, unto themselves at this point, because you don't see this very often.
No. And it's a great example of what to avoid when you're trying to really come down to try and find out, okay, is this really bad? And this is a great example of misinformation. We're just going to put that right out there. This is a great example of it.
Don't read the headline. Just don't read only the headline.
Yeah.
The headlines are meaningless.
Yeah.
They really are. They're meaningless. They want you to, if you want to learn about the deadliest virus of COVID, then read on. Don't just take the headline and say it's deadly.
Yeah.
Read on like we all did, and we realized how deadly it wasn't.
Yeah. Or don't get gaslit by reading the first sentence of the article where it says a pair of immune-evading Omicron subvariants. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Isn't that what we want?
Ideally, no. But I get your point.
As a COVID, a non-deadly version of COVID that's running around infecting everybody, that's kind of what we want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that builds immunity.
Yeah. One would think, that's for sure.
I'm just quoting scientists. Not the science.
Not the actual science. All right, guys, here we go. Closing out episode 91 with topic number 4. And, well, we love tournaments around here, guys. I don't know, but Steve has a really interesting one. Steve, why don't you go ahead and just take it? What do you got for us?
Well, after that last topic, I felt like we had to break it down and have a little fun. So,
heck yeah.
Comedy Central's been playing a lot of Seinfeld recently, and I'm a fan of the show after season 5, when things started getting really kind of wacky. That's when I really enjoyed it. And so I thought, since you guys both have seen the show, we could do a tournament of secondary characters.
Look at that.
Who is the best secondary character from Seinfeld?
Ooh.
I wanted to exclude, the main 4, Jerry, Elaine, Kramer, and George, because that's too easy. And so instead, we're gonna take these guys. We're gonna spin the wheel like we did with the jerseys.
Nice.
And whoever pops up will be the first bracket, and we'll go from there. So John's gonna get the first one.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go. All right.
I did all my research this morning. Just so
slowly going around.
All right. So the first, Jiffy Park guy.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
hilarious.
Yeah, because he was our last minute substitution.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
And he will face George's boss, Kruger.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, the R file off, and now it says K Uger. K Uger. K
John?
Uger.
I have to eliminate him on the one line that I saw when I guess he fired everybody, and it was only him and George in the office, and he's like trying to smooth him over about how like great he is and how he likes his vision. It came off so slimy. I got to give it to the Jiffy Park guy.
Wow, that's interesting. A mild upset there. Awesome. I love it.
The Jiffy Park guy, the whole thing that Steve said was pure comedy
Wow.
gold. Like I
Okay.
laughed the whole time.
Yeah.
Jiffy moves on. How about that?
Nice.
Jiffy Park guy to me is the epitome of slime, though.
Yeah, but he
So,
did it in a
That's
funny way.
Interesting. Okay.
It was a funny. It was like
All right,
when
Matt, you're next.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. No, go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just saying, Kruger just came off as a douche noodle. It wasn't even funny to me. It was just like, you're a slime ball, but you didn't bring me any comedy.
Oh, so we got Tim Watley. Okay.
Fair enough.
Dr. Tim.
Dr. Tim Watley. Okay.
All right, Matt's got Tim Watley versus
The anticipation.
Oh, Peterman.
Oh, man.
geez.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Tim Watley or Peterman? I think it's very close, but I think I'm going to go with Jay Peterman. I think Peterman was Elaine's foil for years. Whereas I think Watley was more like this annoyance that Jerry had to put up with. But like he was like, Peterman was more of the recurring character. They kept bringing him back. He was very pompous, but he was like, it was great. And especially, I love the fact when Elaine interviews him for his book in his hotel. Oh, this is just a place for me to flop. And he's got like this sweat-stained shirt on, and he's just like this potted plant. It's great. That was one of my all-time favorite ones out of Peterman. So yeah, I would go Jay Peterman on that one.
I would agree. My favorite of all time with him was when she had to go to Cambodia to find him to sign a requisition. And he was doing Marlon Brando from Apocalypse Now. That was great.
That was great. Yeah, exactly.
All right, John is up.
Yep.
Go, get close.
David Putty.
Oh,
All right. Buddy, Elaine's boyfriend.
love it.
Against
Who is going to face
Ooh.
Buddy? Oh my gosh, Estelle Costanza. Wow.
Mrs. Costanza.
Oh, man.
Ah.
What do you got,
Putty was
Johnny?
good. Putty was good, but Estelle's got to move on. Great character. Just a great character.
Oh, man.
George's parents were the best.
Yeah.
Comedy gold. Right
Yeah.
Anybody have parents like that?
there. No.
God, no.
I wish. Not that I don't like my parents, but it would be good maybe like having like an aunt and uncle like that would be cool. 'Cause it would just make the part more fun.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. All right.
Okay, Matt,
Let's do
your
it.
turn.
Man, the anticipation of this, Johnny. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Uncle Leo.
Leo.
All right.
Leo. One of the first characters I was ever introduced to when I started watching Seinfeld, from the middle to the beginning, back to the end.
Nice. Oh man, why?
He's got Frank Costanza.
Are
This
you
is tough, man?
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
No, in this case, it's a no-brainer. It's Frank.
Yeah.
It's Frank Costanza. Yeah. Everything
Woo.
about him was tremendous. Everything. I thought he was just, the perfect one for me was probably the bro. The Manzier and him with Kramer. That one was hilarious. I love that one. And the Festivus pole. Are you kidding me? He's dragging the aluminum pole. I mean, it's just great. You can't ask for anything better than that out of that character. Yeah, it's him, no question.
I got a lot of problems with you people. You're gonna hear about it.
Oh man.
All right, John, back to you.
All right.
Close. No.
Soup Nazi.
Oh wow.
We all know how I feel about the Soup Nazi.
Oh man. And he's got.
Oh, please be someone not as good.
It looks like Jack Klumpus to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Talk about double jerks.
Still got that pen.
The
I
pen.
crashed your Cadillac. What kind of car is that?
Oh, the guy.
Oh man.
Jack's got to get ousted for the Snoop Nazi. I love the Snoop Nazi that much.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have stole the kid's pen.
You are not a soup. You're not a Soup Nazi fan?
No, I'm a huge Soup Nazi fan.
Oh, it's a huge.
That's one of my favorite characters of all time.
Oh, okay.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
Jack shouldn't have stole his pen back. It was rude.
All right.
Right, Morty?
Still
Let's see.
works, Johnny.
Let's see who Matt's got here.
All right. There's still some pretty good characters here that are listed.
Jackie Childs.
Jackie Childs. Okay. It's outrageous.
Jackie Childs.
Stupendous. Ludicrous.
Who told her to put the bra on? Who told her to put the bra on? I didn't tell her to put the
I
bra
didn't tell
on.
her to bra on. Oh no, it gets Pena. Oh
Oh,
god.
God.
Jenny Banya.
Oh, God.
Oh man. It's hard. Because
This
it's
is
like
very
Banya.
what I was praying for not to have.
Yeah, for me, Banya, he reminds me of like Steve's brother Glenn. He's very annoying, and
That's not a douchebag, though.
yeah, it's gold, Jerry, gold. He has one line, that kind of bit. But Jackie Childs, to me, whenever I watch him, I die laughing. I absolutely die laughing. Who told her to put the bra on? I didn't put the bra on. Who did, and it was that whole line with Kramer in that trial just had me rolling. It's Jackie Childs. Very close. Jackie Childs moves on.
All right. Jackie Childs moving on. He will face the Soup Nazi.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
there you
All right.
go.
John, your final one for the first round here.
Still some great character. Wow.
Ooh, we got Steinbrenner.
Oh, man. Steinbrenner against...
Going against
What? Oh, God.
Morty.
Oh,
Wow.
Morty. What a great character Morty is.
Steinbrenner or Morty, Johnny? What do
I
you
give
got?
it to Steinbrenner because he
Okay.
added depth to George.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because
George
you needed
became
that.
more relevant character
Gotta
because of
Explain
Steinbrenner.
that one.
Yeah.
Morty was great, being the dad of Jerry, but George got elevated because of Steinbrenner.
Okay. That makes sense. I can buy that. Yeah. Cool.
Fair enough.
You got to spin it.
Makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, we gotta spin it.
Yeah, we
It
got to
goes
spin
on.
it.
Like-
You can't not spin it.
Yeah.
Fine. Newman
Newman.
What a shot.
Against?
and
Could it be?
Izzy Mandelbaum.
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 Another tough matchup.
Yes.
Another very tough matchup. Newman. No, Newman. I mean, more of a lengthy run. Perfect foil for Jerry. Perfect ally for Kramer. I mean, the whole thing with what was it? With the recycling of the bottles and getting them up to Michigan to see if they could turn a profit. I love that whole episode, that story arc. Mandelbaum was great for like a great bit. He was a great bit bit character, but not like Newman was more memorable. Yeah, Newman was more memorable, so I'll go with Newman. Yep.
Well,
Nice.
yeah. And I enjoyed the one when Kramer boycotts the mail
Yeah.
and Newman gets kidnapped and he's wearing a bucket on his head. That was good. It's exactly how you told me it was going to go down. All right, second round.
Tell my family.
John.
Tell my family I love them.
John's got
Good.
John's got the Jiffy Park guy
If you park guy, got it.
versus Peterman.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What do you
For the
got?
same reasons Matt with the Newman. Like, the Jim Park guy's funny, but Peterman just long-standing foil. Like,
Jay Peterman, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Peterman's got to move on.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. All right.
Not a shocker. Not a shocker.
Not a shocker at all.
All right, Matt, you got a tough one.
Ooh. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Estelle versus Frank.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. That's hard. Oh, my gosh.
Characters.
They're both terrific. They both played off each other brilliantly. I gotta go Frank. I gotta go Frank because he had more action in his comedy than Estelle did. And by that I mean like he did more with Kramer, which put him even more over the top than Estelle. Estelle was there to kind of just like kind of keep George in check. But Frank was just doing, he was crazy. He was crazy than a loon, which was great. But the Festivus poll just puts it over the top for me. So yeah, it's got to be Frank. Got to be Frank. Yeah.
Frank moves on.
Yep.
All right, John. Soup Nazi versus Jackie Childs.
Oh, the Soup Nazi. I love the Jackie Childs one. It's hilarious, but it's a complete mocking of Johnny Cochran. He didn't invent it. He just does it so well.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's an over the top. That Soup Nazi is like a total created character.
Yeah.
It's TV magic.
It is.
He
Yeah.
took off as a character.
Yeah. He did. Everybody was talking about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How genius is that? Like a New York City soup kind of kitchen where he's like, no soup for you. Get out. Not even allowed to play here.
Come back 1 year.
Even better was at the trial. We were like, could you please state your name? Yev Kasem. Could you spell that, please? No. Next question.
Next question.
Great character.
Oh, great stuff.
All right, Matt, this is tough to round out the final four here.
Naturally.
You got Steinbrenner versus Newman.
Ooh.
Newman for longevity. That's the reason. Newman for longevity and, again, foil for Jerry and just a perfect ally for Kramer.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. I mean, Newman was just... Everybody loves Newman. Most people do,
Oh, yeah.
except for Jerry.
His business card.
Yeah.
Business card. You ever see his business card?
Newman?
It just said Newman.
Newman on it.
There's no post office insignia, no like title, nothing. It just said Newman.
Newman on the back.
Are we even sure he was ever a part of anything?
And he wouldn't deliver mail during the rain. Remember
That's
that?
right. It's my day off. I don't deliver in the rain.
Wait a minute. Neither rain nor sleet.
It's the first one.
All right.
Man.
So let's see.
So what do we got in the top bracket
So
there?
top bracket. This is for John.
Okay.
It's Peterman versus Frank Costanza.
Oh. Wow. Jay Peterman or Frank, Johnny?
It wasn't the boyfriend, Elaine. It was the yam yam.
Oh, man.
It was the yum yum.
This certainly looks like a lot of words. I'm assuming I need this done right away.
Oh, man.
The one with the cake. Oh my God. She
Yes.
ate the
Oh,
cake.
yes.
God, yeah, that's another one. That was another one.
And the punishment, I'm afraid the punishment will fit the crowd, essentially like that.
$259,000 you tit while you've just made me hundreds of thousands of dollars of profit. No, $259.
I have to go Peterman.
Wow, okay.
All right.
Okay. Reasons. We'd love to know why.
Just as you guys just ran off like 27 different scenes that you did. In the large compilation I watched, it was
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah.
His idiocracy with his comedic delivery with
Yeah.
Elaine could never get over on him, but always was trying, and it was always just they found themselves in dumbass situations all the time. Like Frank, I mean,
Oh,
Jerry Stiller is a like, longevity comedian.
oh, one of the greats.
Can't ever doubt, but it was a revival of his career.
Oh, no
Yes, it
question.
was.
Yeah.
Many, many, many moons later, he's still as good as he ever was. But
Yeah.
that Peterman character just put Elaine in so many ridiculous positions
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it just makes it funnier.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt about that.
I remember where I saw it, Elaine. It's a Ziggy. He, by the way, the actor who plays Peterman, he announces the National Dog Show on Thanksgiving every year.
No
That would
kidding.
make-
Oh my gosh.
That makes complete sense.
That's wild. That is wild.
All right, so the other half of the final four, Matt, another tough one.
Mm-hmm.
The Soup Nazi versus Newman.
Oh. Yeah, wow. Another one of my all-time favorite Newman quotes is when Jerry and Newman propose an alliance, and I forget what the alliance was for, but it was like an
Jerry was going
alliance?
to deliver the mail for him
That's right.
because Newman
Hawaii.
wanted to
'Cause he
get
wanted to go to
transferred to
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
You moving away is my dream too. You know? What are you proposing? An alliance? An alliance.
They knew
Get
it
the hell out of
wasn't
here.
me. They knew it wasn't me on my route. How did they know? Too many people got their mail.
Mail. 400%. No one's ever done that. It's like breaking the 4-minute mile.
All right, stop stalling. You got to pick one.
Yeah.
Newman. I love him. I love him.
Of course.
You got to put him over. Yeah. I'll go with him. Soup Nazi was great, but I mean Newman.
Yeah.
Newman.
All right.
Yeah.
So the final bracket is Peterman versus Newman.
Ooh, wow. So I guess what do we do? Do we chat?
Yeah,
What-
hit the chat. Hit the
chat for you? All right, you got it. All right.
We're in the chat here.
Oh, look at that. All right.
He's got a polyp in the duodenum.
Did you get it?
I got both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you guys, my vote won't matter because you both picked Newman.
Oh, look at that.
No.
Yeah, you went with Peterman. Yeah.
I was probably leaning Peterman. I wasn't really sure, but since you guys both picked Newman, it would have been 2-1 or 3-0 anyway.
Or
so.
3.
So Newman, who my kids know as Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park, is
Yes.
the winner of the Seinfeld secondary.
Which, by the way, also great character.
Oh yes.
He did have an epic death. I mean, that was an epic death in the movie, for sure. Yeah. Oh my God.
Good on. I'm blanking on his actual name now.
I can't remember.
Wayne Newman. No,
Wayne
it's not
Newman.
Wayne Knight. Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight. Yeah,
It's Wayne Knight. It's not Wayne Newman.
might as well be Wayne Newman.
Exactly.
But congratulations, Wayne Knight. You are the winner.
There you go. We still love you. That's awesome. Well, in that case, guys, that wraps up episode 91 of Two Noobs Talking. Guys, always great to be able to spend time with you. And we're going to roll on to 92. My gosh, we're getting closer and closer to episode 100. But for now, John, where can people find us on Two Noobs?
Just as a cliffhanger, we're to stop all that Reggie White controversy next week, so stay tuned.
Absolutely.
We are on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Clapper. Steve posts these really awesome videos that I steal and then I put on all the other things, and people like us and say things, and we try to respond as best we can. So.
Yeah, the likes we've been getting have been awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and of course it goes to our main YouTube channel, which is our Two Noobs Talking podcast. At the top, hit that likes button, hit that subscribe button, get notified whenever our new episodes drop. They drop every Wednesday at 7. And on the audio side, Steve, where can people listen to us?
On the audio side, we are not clickbait. We are the opposite of that Fortune article.
Hell yeah.
So listen to us on Podbean, which also spreads us out like tentacles on a specter octopus. Do such things as iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Anywhere where you can find podcasts, you might be able to find us. Just type in Two Noobs Talking, either TWO or TOO, and you will find us.
We are Googleable.
Amazing, amazing. Well, that's it, guys. We've hit the end of the episode. It's on to 92. As always, gents, thank you very much for joining me today. And until then, I guess, talk to you all guys next week. Take care.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed. That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be truly informed.